yeah, it's a bit interesting. Like, it is another form of escapism, technically, but also, like, in some way, I guess you could say I'm, like, medicating myself because I need the dopamine in order to keep on living. Like, I need something to live for. And look, if, like, life isn't really throwing me that much in this current period of my life, then let me at least come up with some shit to restore that balance in my brain chemistry or whatever. My brain has been maladaptive daydreaming since before I can honestly remember, and I realized tonight that the reason that I've done that for such a long time is because I was basically fulfilling the lack of dopamine in my brain. Like, I was receiving that instant dopamine fix from my maladaptive daydreaming as a result of my undiagnosed ADHD, which I don't know too much information about it. I literally just Googled it as well to like understand it better, and I couldn't. It was just too complicated for me. But basically, like, our dopamine receptors, I think we have more of them, and something about like the dopamine like transferring from different cells. Basically, our dopamine receptors, there's something fucked, and we kind of have less of it than I guess the no ADHD person does. And so we're kind of constantly seeking that fulfillment, that satisfaction, because we need the dopamine in order to feel like life is worth, continuing, because obviously we chase like the happier, more pleasant feeling emotions, and dopamine is obviously like a good feeling one. And I think we chase that a lot more than normal, like, no ADHD people, because they don't need to, like, they get it consistently, potentially, and like with more ease. So I think we're a little bit more, I don't know if it's like unsatiated or it just doesn't get triggered as easily as it does for people without this disorder. I genuinely, like, again, try Googling it, was too complicated. Remember, like, a couple weeks ago, I was just like not doing it at all for anything. Like, there was no desire in me to maladaptive daydream, and that's not happened to me like very often in my life. And honestly, it's probably the first time in my life where it was like consistently long lasting, where I just didn't feel the desire. And I kind of correlated that to feeling very like content and in alignment and at peace with my reality, that like life was good enough for me to receive the dopamine that I potentially needed, rather than relying on the instant gratification dopamine from daydreaming. But now this past week I've been doing it more and more often, and I realized, like, whoa, this is weird, because there was a time recently where I was not doing it at all. And that was really strange for me, because, again, I'd grown up kind of doing it all the time, or, like, not all the time. Oh, my God, no, this makes it seem like I was constantly dissociated. No, but I meant, like, on a consistent basis. It, like, went on throughout the years of, like, my teenagehood and my early adulthood. And, of course, there would be waves and moments where it was, like, less or more, or none at all, or some more than usual. But generally it was pretty consistent in how it would like appear and disappear and appear and disappear. And like recently it's been like going out in longer periods and very like reduced, and I feel now it kind of makes sense why I'm doing it. I have reached a bit of a plateau in my life, and it's nothing like sad or depressing, but I'm just like, there's not as much dopamine there's not as much dopamine like getting to the brain, and I'm not finding enjoyment or gratification in like the usual doom scrolling, watching movies, watching TV shows, watching videos, like funny memes, whatever. Like, even like that's just not satiating me anymore. So I feel like I have to rely on the daydreaming that I haven't really done in a while. So that was the kind of, obviously I feel like this is well known. I didn't make any like scientific discoveries here. Like, this was pretty obvious, but I think I just never thought about it enough. I was like, and again, I was just doing it, and then I was like, whoa, what am I doing? Like, why am I so detached from reality, just like staring out into the sky, thinking about this like situation or scenario or whatever, and it's not even real. Like, it's not in my reality, but it's giving me obviously like the sense of pleasure, because it's like, it's making me creative. I think that's also what it is. It's because the shit I come up with in my head when I maladaptive daydream, oh my God, like how many times I've thought about like, this would be a great book, this would be a great TV show, this would be a great movie. Wattpad would eat that up, I tell you. Genuinely, how many times I've considered being like a screenwriter, or is that the word? Screenwriter or a screenplayer? I don't know. The one that writes the script of the movie, or an author or whatever, like genuinely, because the creativity that I come up with in my maladaptive daydreaming, because I got skills, I got experience. I've been doing this for a while now. Like, the creativity that lives inside here, it's come up with so much. So I think maybe that's another dopamine fix. It's like, I'm being creative, I'm coming up with something, I'm being like, ow, my neck.